but we may set
I'd like to call this August 3rd work session to order, and just for so everybody understands that we agreed last month that we would go through a normal work session, and following the work session, we would go into a regular council meeting and vote on any agenda items, because we're not meeting next week due to the St. Anne St. Mark Carnival that's going to start on Tuesday. So I'll start with public participation. Well, Herbie, let me get rid of you first.
Okay. I just have two things. One is, a while ago, we talked about the insurance services office had come in and done a survey, and we were rated as a class 4. We sent them some additional information, and we got the final report, and we're now rated a class 3. And if you remember, I sent some charts out to council. There's in Pennsylvania, less than 15% of the fire departments are class 3 or better. So we're better than 85% of the fire departments in this rating system. There's supposed to be some impact on fire insurance, but I haven't been able to clarify exactly what that is. But a class 3 rating should have better rates than a class 5 rating. The second thing is we still have some carbon monoxide alarms left. We did go all the way through all of our smoke alarms that we had gotten from the federal government. We had exhausted that supply. Over the weekend, I received notification from FEMA that we've received another grant for smoke alarms. The value of the grant is $11,600, and that's for about 700 smoke alarms. So shortly we'll be able to restock and continue the program.
What was that number? Excuse me, Mr. What was that
It's
number?
the Assistance to Firefighters Grant. It's the fire prevention program. This is the third grant that we've gotten. The total amount that we've gotten through the 3 grants is a little over $60,000, and it's cost the borough a little over $3,000 for their share of the $60,000.
Does anybody have any questions for Herbie? Thank you. All right, let's go to public. Well, Jamie, let's take care of you first. You want to come up? Councilman Pez has a presentation to make to you.
For those of you that don't know, this is Jamie Gilpatrick. He is Jamie, your official title, if you
Managing Director.
Okay, the Managing Director of the Bristol Riverside Theater. I've gotten to know Jamie a little bit over the last couple months. He's doing a fantastic job with what's going on in the borough and at the theater, of course, actively part of some of our economic development committee meetings and all of those types of things that are going on. So we're very glad to have him here. Just like much things in town, unfortunately, we'd love to give them more this year, but I am happy to give to donate to the Bristol Riverside Theater in the amount of $5,000 to help make their budget meet their ends meet this year. They're doing a great job. They bring in lots and lots of people to town. What are the numbers as far as people in town?
Well, our audience is about 45,000 annually. We're very pleased to that this year we had a tremendous increase in our attendance for our main stage productions. Also, our summer concerts, our attendance is up there. So overall, doing very well. Lots of people coming to see shows in Bristol. So
great, and we're excited to have you, and we really appreciate all the efforts that you do. And it's my pleasure on behalf of Borough Council to give that to you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Very much for your support. It's a great partnership, not only with the grant, but our summer theater camp Outrageous started this week at Snyder Girardi, so we're very pleased to be able to bring that to the borough every year and bring art education to our kids. So thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Mentioned it. Yeah. Jamie. Jamie.
Yes.
Just so everybody at home understands that we give you this donation because the first Monday and Tuesday of every show, anybody from Bristol Borough can go to this show.
Correct.
With the understanding it only costs the borough residents $5.
Yes, so the service...
Want to go to that podium, Jamie?
Yeah. Through your generosity, we're able to offer Bristol Borough residents $5 tickets to the first 2 preview performances. Attendance this year for those tickets has gone up enormously. I think 47%, I think, is what's in the letter there?
Yes, that is what it says.
So there is a great demand for this service. We're very, very pleased to be able to provide that to our residents, and we hope to be able to continue that in the future. Any questions? Yes?
I have a question. I just wanted to tell you that my two daughters started the Outrageous program today, so they came back
Excellent.
and they were super excited. So
Good,
it was
good.
awesome.
I'm very glad. Yeah, we just started today, and attendance registration is going very well, so we're very pleased with so far this year. Yeah, so we will have a performance at the end of the 5-week camp at the theater. You're all welcome to join us for that and see the hard work the kids will do this next coming 5 weeks.
When will that be? What's the...
I want to say it is, let me check here. It is, I think it's the 27th, I think, but I can get you the date for that and let you all know.
Okay.
All right,
Thanks,
Jamie, thank
Jamie.
you.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Just to give everybody an update, I don't know if anybody at home is streaming this baseball game. Everybody knows that our Bristol girls are in Delaware in the World Series, and they're in pool play right now. And in the bottom of the fourth inning, they're now winning 7-5. So just keep everybody updated. Okay, on this side of the room, anybody public participation, go to the microphone and state your name and address.
Hi, I'm Shay Chola, Porter Avenue, with the Bristol Borough Business Association. And I'm Beth Ann Olchek. I am a member of the First Friday Committee, and we're here to explain to everybody. First Friday, if you haven't already heard about it, is coming up this Friday, on Friday the 7th, from 5 to 8 on Mill Street, and there's these flyers floating around. Before I get to the lineup and everything, I just want to say thank you to residents for talking to their council people, and I want to say thank you to the council for working together along with Chief Porter and Merle. We are pleased to announce that Mill Street will be closed from Route 13, Old Route 13, to Cedar Ave, and you can still access Radcliffe in front of King George and the other restaurants from Cedar onto Radcliffe. The wharf entrance will also be closed, so you can't get into the wharf or out of the wharf from the parking lot, but you can access the parking lot through Pond Street, Wood Street, and Cedar Street. So we will allow traffic going through there. The vendors are going to be setting up in the street, but still facing the stores. So we want people to stay on the sidewalks. It is a sidewalk event for our stores on Mill Street, but I know there's been a lot of clumping up because of strollers or whatever it may be, people just standing and shopping, so we can now access and get around. I do remind residents, anybody there, if you're there and you see people, just be mindful that there is traffic on the cross streets and they still need to look. We're going to put barriers up on either side of Mill Street to make it obvious that the road is closed here but not here. I hope it's obvious, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes this month. I think it'll answer a lot of the questions that we had and problems we had the last 2 months. And again, I thank everyone for working with us to make this happen. That being said, it's all free family fun entertainment. Face painters, balloon artists, hula hoopists, a juggler, characterists, quick art sketch artist, and magician. There will be performances again by Stepping Stone Dance Studio and the Truman Cheerleaders. For anyone who doesn't know, we have performances on the top of Mill Street and at the wharf. And there's performances at 5:30, 6:30, 7:30, and in between each of those, there's intermittent music, jugglers, different things going on in there. So there's definitely constantly something going on either end of the street. Their art walk, along with the tours of the newly opened Bristol Borough Center for the Arts, they are open, so encourage people to go on in and take a look at it.
Until 7.
Till 7 o'clock. There is a community mosaic project, which is being held at the wharf. It's been open for the last 2 months, and we'll have it open again this month, and then again next month. Of course, all the shops, merchants, and vendors are there for your shopping pleasure. Penelope Fox will have 1-hour classes for $15. Kids art classes. There's still room to sign up. Those classes are 5:30, 6:30. No, 5:30 and 7. 5:30 and 7. And there is a link on Facebook, or you can go call her. She'll let you know if there's space available as well. Live music we talked about, and the One Tribe Party Band will be at the wharf. and the Andy Brown Troop Band will be at Mill Street Crossing. The beer garden, of course, is open at Historic King George, and you can stay in the loop with First Fridays on Facebook. That was like a public service announcement. So anyway,
good,
it
Beth
really
Ann.
has grown, and we thank everybody for their support. Last month, was a holiday, and it was bigger than the month before. So we'll all have our phones on for the games, because I know there's a game Friday. I don't know what time, but so it's very exciting. We hope everybody's there. And again, if anybody needs a flyer, you can contact one of us. It's all over Facebook, and we hope to see everybody Friday night.
Just so everybody understands that this was addressed a few times in council, and I think on, what was it, Wednesday or? Last week, myself, Merle, Jim, and Beth Ann, and the chief met, and we discussed this one more time, and we figured, let's give it a shot. Let's close Mill Street. Let's keep the traffic running parallel across, down to the parking lot and see how this works. So, it's new, it's bigger than I think anybody expected, and I'm sure that you and Shay, have your hands full with this whole project, but when you took on the playground, you didn't think you had that completed, so both of you guys, no matter what you get involved with, I know you do a great job, so.
Thank you.
Thank you. And the Business Association really appreciates the support of the council and of the town.
Okay, Lorraine?
I just wanted to thank you guys. I heard so many positive things about First Fridays, and you girls are amazing.
Thank you.
Girl power.
Thank
in
you.
Bristol. Way to
We
go.
do have a committee of probably about 6 members who have made this all possible, so I'm grateful to all of them for all of their help. They've been awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody have anything, or?
Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Great,
Thank
thank
you.
All right, good luck this week.
Thank you.
I'll be in town, so I'll probably be there finally.
Awesome.
Okay, anybody else on this side of the room, public participation? What's the score?
What is it?
Beth Ann?
Say it.
9 to 5.
Oh, that's awesome.
9 to
Are they
5.
still in the bottom of the fourth?
It is still the bottom of the fourth. There's now 2 outs, but we have one on first, one
Wow.
on third, and the count is 1-2.
Wow. Awesome.
All right, anybody on this side of the room would like to speak on anything? Okay.
Excuse me. Jason Grizzlia, 583 Linden Street. I just have a question pertaining the work that's going on at Goodwill and the Pico grounds. It's more of a gripe, I would guess,
It's more why, Jason?
it's a gripe.
I'm sorry.
I can't take it anymore. I've talked to people over there from URS that, the vibrations over there, I have no other way to explain it than like trembles from an earthquake.
What's causing that? The vibration?
They have a crane over there. They're pounding in some kind of, I don't even know what they are, to stabilize the dirt for when they take the dirt out. So I guess it doesn't cave in or whatever. And there's about 50 of them. And they're probably halfway done them, and they started at the beginning of last week. And it's constant. It's from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day. And now they're starting to do it on Saturdays. There's stuff falling off of my walls in my house. A TV fell off of the wall on Friday. Pictures falling down, breaking. Obviously you can tell that there's stuff going on. You're in there and you're shaking. So I go out and I talk to the guy, and he said that it meets the legal requirements for vibration for a foundation of a house, that it's not going to get ruined. I find that very hard to believe. If it's knocking stuff down in my house and you can actually shake when you're laying on the couch or laying in bed in the morning, I don't know what to do. Is there any way that maybe the borough engineer would be able to go out and, because I don't know if this guy's telling me the truth or not,
From what I understand, speaking to people in that area, because your mom did send me a video that I viewed, and I can't even imagine, like you said, dealing with it. But talking to people in that area and stuff like that, they all say it's the noises, it's there, they're driving insuring, to shore up the ground, so like you said, when they dig out the dirt, it's safe. And, I mean, as a borough, there's no way we could prevent them from working from...
No, I know there's no way that you can, I mean, they have to get it done,
Right.
you know, they started, what are they gonna do,
I think the faster they get it
stop,
done,
you
the
know?
better they get the shoring in. 'Cause I think from there, it's only backhoes and remediation and that.
Yeah, I know.
You're gonna have to, look, we all know that it's driving you nuts, it's driving everybody nuts in that area, but I don't think there's anything, anywhere around this. The project's,
It's even making the cable go out, because I talked to the people from Verizon, they said because Verizon is all fiber optics, anything that hits, you know, it could make something, I mean, I've been without a phone line for, you know, days upon days, internet and cable, it just...
I checked with the firehouse, and they have not lost any cable, phone, or internet, because they have to be online matter of fact, you guys would know that immediately if somebody's offline. So they haven't lost anything, so I don't know.
I spoke with Verizon, and I actually went outside of my house while I was on the phone with them, and the woman had asked me what's going on over there, and I told her what was going on, explained it to her, and she said, well, anything like that can cause that to happen.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. And every time I talked to the person from Pico this morning, and he basically, yeah, I'll get back to you type of stuff. I don't know. I mean, if you're telling me that there's really nothing that can...
Well, it's like Saturday, not Saturday, I had 14 guys putting a roof on. At 7 o'clock in the morning, the nail gun started up, and I know the neighbors weren't happy, but...
That's a layup compared to what's
I
going on
know, but I'm just
now.
saying, people are, you're working. I mean, there's nothing, we can't stop the project. I mean, we could tell them to work, see if they would work less hours, but that's only gonna prolong the job. I think the faster they get the
I
shoring...
want them out of there, I mean,
That's what I'm saying. So I think you're dealing with probably the worst part of the job right now by driving this in.
Okay.
And once it's in, we're hoping, you're still gonna be hearing backup alarms and tractor,
You said they're halfway through?
Yeah, and the paper that I have from Pico stated that they were gonna be done in July.
No.
I have that, Ralph, I have it on...
I know, but I'm saying, if you want, we could send out the engineer to try to shorten the day, but again, you're only prolonging the job, so.
Is there any way that you'd be able to just send, I mean, it would be Kurt, I'm assuming, or no?
Right.
Okay, would he be able to come out and just tell me if, just
On
to...
your property?
Yeah, just to ease
No.
my...
He couldn't start.
Just the vibrations that are going on over there. Would he be able to
If
tell
there's
me?
any issue with cracks and things like that, you would have to deal directly with Pico.
Okay,
It's like Aqua, and just to let you know, when Aqua comes in and they did all the roads, they videotape every sidewalk, every curb, because when they leave, people start saying, oh, you cracked my sidewalk, you did this, and they say, come and let's look at the video. So, I mean,
okay. All right.
I feel bad, but, if there was something I can do, the only thing we could do is say, look, don't start at 7, could you start at 8? Don't work till 5, work till 4, but you're knocking off 2.5 hours a day.
I know.
You're at the end of the week, it's another day. So I would say, if you're saying they're halfway done, the faster they get this shoring in, the better that banging's gonna be.
Now, anything say if anything does happen to my property before...
They're gonna be 100% responsible.
Okay.
How could they not be?
Saturdays, it is a little later as to when you can start,
I don't
right?
think so. Sunday,
Really?
I think, I'm not sure.
Saturday and Sunday, it's a little bit later.
Right.
I sent your mother the email, I forget
Okay.
exactly the time.
Yeah, I thought it was like 8 or something like that on Saturdays and Sundays as opposed to...
All right,
Sunday is 10, I think, tell you the truth.
Okay.
But I forget.
that's it. All right, thanks.
All right, sorry, I can't do anything.
That's all right.
Anybody else on this side of the room? Beth Ann, any updates?
It's, we just changed our picture and it's 9-5.
9-5, top of the
There are
5th?
2 outs and they have 1 on second.
Top of the 5th?
It is the top of the 5th.
Okay, keep
Thank
us
you. You have
updated,
to
Beth
leave?
Ann.
I'm sorry. I was watching this at home and came here, so.
All right.
All right, Lorraine, what do you have, anything?
I just want to
You're gonna
say,
leave us hanging, you're going home?
Seriously, you don't have it?
no, I have it.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, I have it.
Say it, Shay.
I just wanted to say, I went to the game where they won the states, and it was the most exciting day. My daughter played like 5 years ago, and they won the states, but they didn't go as far as these girls are going. And Betty and I had spoken, and we wanted to bring them in here when it's all over and do something for them, you know, and I'm sure everybody else does too. It's amazing, and like I said, girl power, and the girls in Bristol are tough, you know, and it's a wonderful thing. And that's really all I have this week, so, Greg?
Greg?
Yeah, a great community event. I was at the Pines before I came here drinking water. Everyone asked me why I was only
Why,
drinking
you can't
water.
have beer?
But at the Pines, they're playing it on the TV. There's a lot of people watching. And it's a lot of fun, so it's very happy for everyone involved. I just have two quick things. I sent an email to the mayor, and he has responded to me, and I appreciate that, as well as the police chief, and that is in reference to have some complaints surrounding the Harriman Apartments. I'm not going to get into too much depth as to what that is, but the mayor has assured me that they're going to get to the bottom of it. So for those people that were asking about that, hopefully we see some improvement in that shortly. I also had a few emails this week in particular about some permitting work and questions about that, saying they were trying to get in touch with Kevin Brannigan and that they hadn't heard back. And I'm sure Mr. Dillon's going to elaborate on this a little bit, but I know Kevin had a medical emergency. So if anyone was trying to reach him in reference to some situation that you are dealing with, I know John is kind of in it up to his ears trying to take on the load of two people right now. So I just wanted to make sure people understood that, and that's all I have.
Tony?
Yeah, just a couple things. The first thing is the baseball field, the playground's at the baseball field. I think what's happened is the playground is becoming overrun with weeds. The rubber, the chopped up tires that they use in the field has been, it's getting thrown out, it's being pushed out, and it's starting to be more of a hazard, a tripping hazard, and it doesn't look nice. And we spend a lot of money on that field. I would suggest that we just rip all that rubber mulch, the weeds out, and just plant grass in there and just take care of that way. I had a similar situation at my house with the playground. We had mulch, and it turned into a nightmare. Then we tried to put, like just the rubber. That turned into a nightmare. And we wind up just planting grass, and it's been fine ever since. So I would like to see if we could maybe do something about that playground, just to make it.
Tony, I don't want to speak for Kurt, but I don't think we can rip it out. I think it's the way it's been designed, it's to meet certain standards for
You gotta
safety.
keep that rubber?
Probably have to keep it.
Okay.
Before we had the
there
wood
is grass
chips,
in there.
and they couldn't even use them anymore, so.
Yeah, the wood chips are terrible anyway.
Yeah,
They get
so I
mold.
think this is the new, but we'll check it out. I mean, I don't think we
There's grass growing
can.
in there, though. I saw it.
I don't even know if it's grass.
Well, whatever.
It's like weed.
But it is,
I mean, that's stuff we could take care of,
yeah,
but
but it's like covering a whole area. It's
Yeah.
not just coming up
It's like
here and there.
intertwined in the rubber, like it's become one surface, you know what I mean? So if you're gonna rip that out, you're gonna rip out the rubber too.
we'll have somebody look at it this week.
All right.
It's probably one of the most used playgrounds in the borough.
Oh,
So I
absolutely.
think that was probably one of the best things that was put in so far in this town in that area.
The second thing is, just for the record, I attended the school board meeting they had with LRTA. I think that was like the 22nd of July. And although I support the project and the things that they talked about, what I'm not okay with is all the secrecy that goes on, behind this deal. Like finding out at the last minute there's a name of a different company or a different corporation that's going to be, getting the LRTA. And then, the misinformation is that I thought that they were the same company, but they're not the same company. They just happen to be friends with each other. And then the other thing is, the other piece of the information that they don't tell you, like at that meeting with the school board, they asked a bunch of questions, but they had information to ask questions. For instance, I was not aware that there were tax liens both on the federal and state level and maybe workers' comp. Now, when we were talking at the meeting, the attorney for the RDA and Mr. White explained, that it wasn't a major deal. But the idea is, if it's something there, this is our governing body, this council, and we're not aware of it. So my goal or my job is to let the residents know, to be as transparent as possible. And if there's an issue going on, let's just talk about it. If it has to be an executive session, it's an executive session. But the information needs to be forthcoming. That's all I have to say.
I want to just discuss this, Larry. First of all, I think the attorney at that meeting addressed that immediately. He said that they had a tax IRS issue that was cleared up, and they were dealing with that. It was based on a payroll or something like that.
That's what I just said.
The second thing is, the question keeps coming up about, well, can we put the LERTA on the owner, not the building, because it may become residential? That's another issue that keeps coming up, right? The LERTA is specifically for that use. It's not to be used for residential homes. So that's got to come off the table, because if their solicitor or the school board at this point doesn't realize that LERTA is for that nursing home, it's not for residential and cannot be for residential use. That's another thing should come off the table. The third thing that I'm amazed over is, if they have a tax lien, or no matter what the issue, what's the difference? Because we're not loaning them the money. Us as a borough, as a council and as a school board, and as the county, is looking for one thing: to generate tax revenue for the taxpayers of this town. If we were the bank, only the bank should be concerned if they're going to loan them $12 million if they got a tax issue. Not us, because if they have a tax issue and their credit's bad or there's some issues, they're not going to get the $12 million, or they're not going to be able to borrow money. So this whole thing, to me, is being blown out of proportion, and like they said, we're trying to do our due diligence. Due diligence on what? What are you going to do if they have a tax lien, or what are you going to do if they have some issues? We're trying to generate income for the borough. If this project falls through, let's say they buy it. The day they buy it, we start collecting, it goes back on the tax rolls. Once the 10 years are up, we get 100% of their taxes, which I explained to council. Let's say 2 years goes by, they never complete the project. They go under, the building's 90% done. We're left with a building that's worth now almost $12 million that we're going to get back from the RDA. So we can't lose in this project. The school district has zero impact on the school. Now, one child is being put into their school system to collect 66% of the tax money that's going into that goes to the school. And they need to think about it, or there's some issues, or they're doing their due diligence. Due diligence on what? What are they going to do if they find things out? They're going to say, oh, we're not going to vote. If somebody on that school board votes no, they're doing an injustice for this town. It's a disgrace to vote no on that project, because you're not doing what's right for the taxpayers of this town. There's no excuse to vote no on this council or on the school board.
Well, to me, just to clarify...
I'll let you go all night, because you cannot prove a point on this.
It's not even proving a point. The only point that I made, and the other things that you brought up, aren't things that were my concern. My concern was just the idea of the lack of information.
What information, Tony? You had the solicitor for that project standing at that podium. Why didn't you ask them whatever question you wanted?
Maybe because we didn't have the information to
What
ask
information?
questions. I'll give you an example, and I'll ask you, Ralph, were you aware that there were liens?
No.
You were not aware of that?
I don't care.
I know you don't care, but were you...
No, you shouldn't care.
Mr. Salerno, were you aware that there were tax liens?
It's not relevant to the council's decisions on this.
It
You're creating issues that are not relevant, okay? When a developer comes into this town, we don't have the right to ask them those questions, all right? So all you would do is scare people away. We're trying to attract development. Let me finish, okay? So let's say we did ask them, do you have any tax liens? What difference would it make? You're going to deny him because he's got a tax lien? It's not it's not a crime to have a tax lien. A lot of people have tax liens, okay? So the school board's creating issues that are irrelevant, okay? Now, as far as the transparency, we put this in the hands of the RDA. They negotiated it, and then we approved it, all right? What everybody seems to forget is they still have to come in front of this council for land development, at which point you're going to be able to ask them, are you capable of doing this? Are you going to have the financing? Can you get it done in 2 years? That has not even come up yet, but everybody wants to jump the gun. All we're doing now is designating that property as alerta property, which is for non-residential uses, period, end of story. Anybody else that says anything else is either lying or they can't read.
Now, let me say one more thing, and I'm going to give you all the time you want.
Go ahead.
We had a project on the Stocks project, correct? They're going to do 10 townhouses or condos with a restaurant. They came in front of us. Did you care if they had liens or anything? Did you ask one question that night?
We weren't giving them alerta.
What's the difference? It's the same thing.
Because
Same thing.
to me, I feel it's
It's
our
what?
responsibility. If we're in, the RDA is working in coherence with us, we're working together. So somebody needs to be able to vet out who's coming in and doing something. You don't want to just say, all right, I'm going to allow this company or whatever to have alerta, to give them a tax break, and then find out they're not even capable of doing it. That's the information that I'm talking about. So to say, wait a minute, Ralph, I'm telling you, I'm 100% in favor of what was going on with the project, and I want to continue with the project. All I'm making clear is that I'm not happy with the amount of information that is not given to everyone on council, not just me. I'm talking about everybody on council. Those are the types of things that I would like to know. To me, it just makes makes sense. It's common sense that you would like to know more about the entities that are going to be doing work in the borough, and potentially going to be starting a $12 million job. And right, it's all good, it's all gravy, but if there's no substance behind it, if it can't happen, why even go to the first step? That's all I'm
Because
saying.
this is part, the RDA came to us and said they structured a deal. This is the deal that they put together. There's going to create jobs, it's going to do this, it's going to do that. They're going to invest $12 million in this project. If you were doing the project, who are we to say, when you come here, like our solicitor said, then we could ask you, Mr. Devine, can you do the project? Do you have the money to do the project? There are questions at that point. This is the alert. That's all it is. If this project falls through, we can't guarantee they're going to go to settlement. No matter what questions they answer, no matter how many things we ask them, they could pull the plug the last minute and say, you know what, we had enough. And I'll tell you right now, from the information I'm getting, and if you read what Bob White said, it's time to vote because they're getting tired of it. And if they walk away from this project, this town is going to really be devastated because you're losing a hell of a project for this town. And don't think people get a feeling, you know what? You think I'm going to deal with Borough Council? You think I'm going to deal with the school board and deal with all this stuff? I don't need Bristol Borough. I go anywhere and spend my $12 million. So I think everybody should understand what's at stake here, and if this deal gets screwed up because people want to know about their personal issues, there's companies that are in bankruptcy that are buying other buildings under another company. So what are you saying at that point? That you can't do that because you're bankrupt here, but you're buying this building? The people that own...
I wouldn't support a company that
The
was...
people that own Mill Run, just so you know, the people... It's about the game. The people that own Mill Run that went broke was building a place in Lower Makefield. So they moved their operation to a brand-new facility while this one was going under. So when you say I wouldn't support, that's business. You need to understand the way people operate in this country. It's not just about a handshake, like you said, or it's not common sense. It's business. When you're investing $12 million, they don't care about Tony Devine, they don't care about Lou Hornstein, they don't care about they don't care about Ralph Tejas, they don't care. This is their project, or they'll go elsewhere. So, I mean, they could, look, if that school board votes Thursday night against this, it's a sad day for Bristol.
Okay, well,
So,
let me make it clear a couple things.
You could say anything you want, and I'll listen to you.
Well, to me, I just want to make it clear again. I'm not here to say that the school board's going to vote against it. All I'm saying is, they asked the questions that we should have been asking as a council.
Tony, they
Right?
asked nothing.
Ralph, you said I could have the floor.
Mr. Dillon wants to say
All right,
something.
well, let me finish,
Go ahead.
and then Mr. Dolan can have the floor. But the first thing is I want to say is, I was at the meeting, and if I would have been able to finish, I would have told you that Mr. White made it clear that the RDA was, in charge of the development of this project, and not to worry about it, because it's going to come back on the RDA. Right? So there's no concern that with me, myself, or I can't speak for anybody on the school board, but there's no concerns that it's going to go awry and we're going to be stuck giving somebody alerts and then, basically not be able to do anything with it, because it'll be in the RDA's hands. So, number one, I'm not worried about that. Secondly, to make a big deal and kind of, you think that you're putting pressure on people in the school board.
Oh, I don't care how they vote, Tony. I really don't.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
You voted no.
all they did, yeah, but I voted no.
You voted no for no reason.
I'll tell you the reason, if
Go ahead.
you want to remember.
Yeah, I want to know
All
why.
right, the reason I voted no was not because of the program or the project. What I voted no for was the information that we get at the last minute that we weren't given as a council, was there's another name at the last minute. There's a different name to a corporation that we never heard of.
Okay.
Which
so
was 1201 Wilson Acquisition LLC.
What's the
right?
difference?
I'll tell you, here's the difference.
Go ahead.
Is because everybody in town, including probably the majority of people on council, when they had a presentation, it was done by Dallas Properties.
Mm-hmm.
They gave everyone got excited, including myself. So at the last minute, I'm getting a piece of paper that's talking about a whole different corporation. So whether I know about, if it's going to be right or wrong, I want to know more information. I want to know, why is there another company at the last minute?
Why they were here? Why didn't you ask them?
Because I didn't have that information, Ralph. I asked the question. The question that I asked, again, so you can be clear, is, are we here to vote on the property of the LRTA, of where the boundaries are? The answer was yes. I don't have a concern with that. I believe that project should be a LRTA project if it's going to be what they said it's going to be. I support that.
Okay.
But the last minute is what I'm talking about, to get it here that we're going to vote on something, right, to give the LRTA, and there's another name of a corporation that I never heard of in the year and a half or however long we've been dealing with it. Anybody would have the same question, I hope, that they would feel that way, because that information is not being passed to the rest of council. That's the only concern that I have.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah, let Jim.
Okay, I was like 2 seconds.
Go ahead.
I think Mr. Devine's concerns have been noted. We've voted on it. We've discussed it. I think the school board has pretty much gone on record in the newspaper. Some people have concerns, other people are supportive of it. I just think, that we have run our course with this, and it's time for people to just make their decision.
Right. I agree.
And that's where I am, that's all.
I just wanted to say, when they first came in, your committee met with them on numerous occasions, and at the beginning, the first couple of meetings dealt with the financial ability of them to perform the job, and they did show us the different corporations and all that they were the principals of. So again, you're just voting on that particular site to be alerted, and I think it's the abuse that I understand that they took at that meeting over at the school district. I just hope they don't decide to walk away on their own, because I think it was outrageous. When I heard that they were like being grilled under a deposition almost atmosphere. So again, the issue is that site eligible for alerta? That's all they're asking, and it's not for residential. It can't be used for residential. And then once that's established, they'll come in with their land development plan, and hopefully we'll get a lot of taxes, no school kids, and a lot of jobs. But, I think people, when this borough council sent the letter out to all parties, they asked, if you have any questions, let us know now. And then
That was in June.
That was in June.
We mailed a letter in June to everybody, their solicitor, the school board.
Let's repeat this one more time. This council designated that property eligible for LRTA exemption. That developer has not been granted LRTA. That won't happen until they're ready, the project is completed, and they apply to the borough, okay? So nobody's been granted a tax exemption.
Okay.
Property is designated for a tax exemption. If these guys don't do it, somebody else may come in, but it has to be non-residential.
Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, this is in response to Mr. Dillon. And I was at that meeting at the school board. And to me, that was a perfect opportunity to get the information. To me, it was a wide open information. I think that the people on the school board, I think they asked the right questions.
The bank is going to do the funding of the...
Right, I understand, but Mr. Dillon, I understand. But what I'm saying is, as the governing body, you want to have all the information, so that way you feel you're doing the right things for the community. Or relevant, exactly. Relevant information, all the information. That's all I'm saying.
Not all.
Tony, everybody, look, your opinion is going to be different than ours. You're concerned that there's a different company involved. There's people that buy companies that say, the day before settlement, instead of me buying it, Dave buys it. Instead of Dave buying, he flips it to you.
Yeah.
It doesn't change the project.
No, it would for me, it would change.
How's it change it?
For me, if I'm going into a deal on the last minute, I think I'm dealing with Dave Gerard, and at the last minute, he's going to put it into somebody else's name, I'm not going to do that deal. I'm not going to do it.
It could still be Dave Gerard establishing it.
Right, he just doesn't get it.
No, believe me, Ralph, I get it. I don't think that you understand.
I don't? Okay. Lorraine?
I just want to say, the girls are winning 9-6 in the bottom of the sixth.
Okay.
Okay, and it's a real good point.
What else you got, Tony?
That's it, Todd.
Dave?
Northport residents. I had a complaint of teens being destructive at dusk at the ball field. I called the mayor on that. Any update on that, Pat? Did you check into that, or?
Yes.
And you putting a police presence over there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. And also, a resident's van was hit right near a borough camera. And they asked the police if it was caught on camera. The response was negative. It was a negative response because the camera was not working at the time, they were told. I have two questions concerning that. As a councilman, am I entitled to know where the cameras are?
I think it's irresponsible of a councilman to state to the public that one of the cameras is not operative. Okay, this is something that should have been discussed with the chief and the mayor, number one. Number two, you are not entitled. The mayor's not entitled to know. That is police investigation. That's for the police and the police only, all right? But for you to say that in public is irresponsible. My job is to protect the council and the borough. Okay, you should have gone to the chief and gone to the mayor and see why that people couldn't get the video, or if they could. I don't even know if they could. Those cameras are there for a very specific purpose. They're not there to determine whether somebody's cheating on somebody else in a divorce action, all right?
Okay, so
Or
I'm
things like that.
not entitled to know where the camera is?
No, you're not. It's
Okay.
police, just like you're not entitled to know how the police are investigating, who they're investigating, when they're going to do a raid. Do you think you're entitled to that?
I'm just asking
No.
a question there, Mr. Salerno.
Well, I think those kind of things need to be
And
asked before you put it on
I
TV.
want to stress that the camera was only out temporarily. Doesn't matter. So,
Please, I'm asking all of council, please think before you speak.
all
Please
right.
have enough on their table.
Well, I people ask me questions, and I feel I should be able to answer them.
Fine, you can. Why do you have to do it on TV in front of everybody when you can jeopardize the security of this
I didn't
town?
know I wasn't entitled to know where the cameras were.
Asked.
I just did.
No.
Thank you for the
Fine.
answer. And you don't have to get all about that.
Yeah, I do.
All right. So anyhow, in private, I'll ask what the procedure is when there's a power outage. Mr. Dillon, 847 Pine Street, the status.
Status is the borough engineer is preparing bid specs to go out to bid to make the repairs. I'll ask him what's the status, but he's been authorized per council to prepare bid specs to go out to bid.
Do we get a cost on that?
Once the specs, to prepare the specs, I don't have that cost yet. I'll ask for that cost, and I'll also ask for the estimated cost to make the repairs too.
We're still trying to get the insurance or the bank to get it.
Pressing the bank to be responsible. We put them on notice that council's authorized the preparation of the bid specs to go out to bid to make the repairs, so they know that. And we sent them pictures of the street closed, we sent them pictures of the condition of the building.
All right.
Okay. Did we ever find out who owns that building?
The person that owned it, as I understand, has walked away from it, and the bank is trying to take it back, because that person hasn't made payments. That's what we're being told.
Okay. And the other question I have about that is we had a vote last week, and there was one abstention, and the comment after the abstention was if I did vote, I would vote no. And I was wondering, since I thought it was a safety hazard, and also that Gilmore Association thought it was a safety hazard, that it's important that everybody get on board and we fix this property.
Well, the reason I said that, Dave, is because it's the same situation that's on Rackler Street, and that building that collapsed that I'm involved with, I'm the bank.
I
So
understand why you voted
I think
back.
the reason I think we should vote no is
Right.
because I don't think we should be going in, doing something until we exhaust all avenues on, I said, don't do it on Rackler Street. If you remember, I didn't think I wanted council to go out to bid or prepare bid specs. And the same situation is here. The bank owns the property, they're trying to take it back. And if the bank can get this property back, they're going to be responsible, just like I would have been responsible to clean up Rackler Street. So that's all I'm saying, is we may go waste, say, $4,000 or $5,000 in bid specs, then go fix the building or whatever we're going to do. So you might end up spending $25,000, $30,000 of taxpayers' money when we shouldn't be involved in this project, unless something where it fell on the ground and we had to go clean it up. But
Okay, well,
that's just my opinion. I didn't want you to do it on my,
Well, on Rackler Street, when the gentleman was hurt, I mean, we spent $20,000 because it was a safety issue, and no one questioned that. No one
no, and I
no one
agree
said
with that.
anything.
I said, if we got to make it safe, it fell in the street, we got to go clean it up, or, that's one thing. But now we're going to repair it. I don't think we should get involved in repairing it unless the bank somebody walks away from this property.
Okay, well, the debris is in the street,
Well, that should be cleaned up.
and we've had a street closed now for over 6 months, and out front, Merle, there's a 2-foot space there where the front steps are, where someone could just walk, right in there.
So the bricks are still in the street?
Yes.
Why isn't that cleaned up?
It's in.
I mean, that should have been cleaned up. I don't know.
The street is
Well,
blocked.
they're afraid to clean it up because the rest of the building's ready to come down where, you know, I mean, you gotta be careful over there. If you're cleaning those bricks up, you better have a lookout guy ready to run, you know, because it's coming down.
Well, I'll just explain to you why
Okay.
I was against my own thing, so that's why I said I wouldn't vote for.
Okay, and lastly, I have a observation and a comment. I was going down 95 the other day, and a guy on a good-sized tractor was cutting the grass in the middle of in the medium. and he's trying to get back over on the side there, he has to go through 2 lanes, and I'm watching this gentleman, and I can kind of see panic in his eyes as people are whipping by. I'm doing 55 and people are passing me. So, I mean, he's in my rearview mirror now, and he guns it, and smoke's coming out of the top of this tractor, and he's doing a whole 5 miles an hour trying to get across before somebody wheels him. And I just, that brings me to mind Route 13. You know, I went down by the parkway the other day, about 2 weeks ago, and the grass was about 2.5 feet tall. It looked terrible. Somebody complained, they cut it, still looks terrible. I don't know who cut it, it still looks terrible. My concern is when 13's done, it's going to be, no one's going to do 40 miles an hour. And it's going to be hard for our guys. They're going to be like that poor guy on 95, trying to get up there, trying to cross 2 lanes of fast-moving traffic. And I'm very concerned for their safety. So
I think, and I thought of the same thing, I think there's 2 things we should consider. One is to sub that out to a company that comes and cuts that, because we don't even have the right equipment to do it.
We're responsible for that?
yes, yes,
That's
we
part
are.
of the fact. You know, it's a state project, so.
That's terrible.
It was either we vote no against a project or accept the project. Or if Bristol Township has the right equipment, maybe have a cooperation with them, that you need a mower with a sickle that comes out.
Yeah.
And we're also hearing you don't have to cut this grass because there's going to be flowers and different things in it. So I think we need to wait and see what
Oh,
happens.
my God.
Okay, all right, well,
I agree. I don't think our guys should be out there.
I think it's going to be very dangerous. But maybe Gary Paul had the right idea. All concrete, no maintenance, and a 5th lane turning lane. But that's passed. Okay, that's all I got. Thank you.
Pat, you have anything?
No, just hoping that this Buster and the softball team does well today and they advance.
9-6, top of the
9-6.
7.
That's terrific news and it puts Bristol
9-7.
on the map.
9-6.
Oh, 9-6,
9-6.
top of the 7, 3 outs to go, that's it.
That's terrific news and
All right.
for a small community to put out such a big name, it's very impressive. Also, I'd say that we had a good fire board meeting.
They won.
They won?
One.
Yeah, well, somebody just posted it. What could I tell you?
Mr. Schlack ran a good fire board meeting for the month of July. And on another note, I'm still working with Mr. Hughes with the Fitzpatrick's office for the fire police. That's all I have to say.
You know, it must be for Buster Senior,
Oh,
for 50 years, but
Oh.
but not only that, coaching with your 2 sons.
it's awesome.
It's got to be like a dream come true
It
to be
is.
in this situation.
I want to quote something that somebody put up here, if you don't mind. Sorry.
Yeah.
We're from Bristol, couldn't be prouder. If you can't hear us, we'll shout a little louder. Love that. Sorry, I'm just really emotional about this. I think it's just so awesome. Really is.
Well, they're putting us on the map.
Yeah.
That's what young kids do for us.
That was from Lori Kaufman. She put that up there.
All right, just a couple things real quick. First, we spoke to Beth Ann and Shay earlier about Mill Street for First Friday. That's going to be closed. Just to let everybody know that the Bristol Fall Classic that happens in November every year, this year they chose the Public Works Garage. They were so impressed with it, the building that we built there, that they actually want to have the Bristol Fall Classic at the Borough Garage in November. So I don't know if anybody from council objects to that, but if you do, now's the time to speak up. But
Explain what they do doing that, Mr. President?
it's just a dinner.
Just a dinner?
And they honor, this year they're going to be, I don't know if it's public knowledge yet, who they're honoring. I don't want to say because maybe he doesn't
Okay,
know
that's
yet,
fine.
but I'll tell you after the
But the
meeting.
public works building is getting a little...
The benefit goes to the kids and
Great.
21st Century
Okay.
Learning Center. and we talked in an executive session about 1029 Elm Street, which is going to be hopefully put on the agenda tonight. And the last thing I want to just mention is, there's been a lot of talk about the Delaware River, about signs, no signs, posting signs. And I spoke to our solicitor this evening, and it's something, Billy, why don't you explain? I don't know if anybody from council's aware of what's going on,
Yeah.
but I'll let him explain to you about the signage.
Well, you know, we've gotten some questions, and people have read the articles. You know, people ask the question as though they already know the answer. Why isn't there a sign up? Well, maybe we're not entitled to put a sign up. Maybe we shouldn't put a sign up. Maybe we don't have responsibility. I don't have the answers to those questions. This just came up, and I've been asked to check that out, and I will do that. But people tend, in these kind of situations, tragic situations, tend to jump the gun a little bit, and we should do this, we should do that. But at this point, there's no indication the borough has any liability. If there is a claim made, we'll certainly refer it to our carrier. But we'll find out. If the borough does need to do something, we'll do what we have to do. But the river's been there for many, many millions of years, and Bristol's been here for 300-some years, and I don't think there's been an accidental problem off that wharf in recent history that anybody can remember. But we'll look into it, and we'll address it proper way.
I mean, don't forget, we have a area down there where they launched their kayaks and canoes and stuff like that. I mean, you know, you can't start telling people you can't do this, you can't do that, but we don't own the water as far as I'm concerned, so it's something you need to look into and see what happens. Anybody else have anything?
I just have a couple. One, we finally, Hurricane Sandy, in case you forget, it happened October 9th, 2012. We just closed our books with the state and federal FEMA and recovered costs that totaled $90,987.88. And I want to thank Merle for bird dogging that with Angie. I know a couple times Angie went to throw Merle out the window, but they really, you know, hung in there. The paperwork is just unbelievable. You know, George and Herb Slack also helped, but we just signed the final paper and sent that in, so that's finally closed out. In your packet, I gave you a copy of an example of some of these Freedom of Information requests that we received. One was from Illinois, and it asked for the borough to provide, pursuant to the Open Records Act, Freedom of Information Act. This is a request for a copy of the following records, and I'll just read a little bit. An electronic copy of any and all employees for the years 2013-14, fiscal or calendar year. Each employee record should contain the employee name, employer zip code, year of compensation, you know. And this is an outfit from Illinois asking us under Freedom of Information. So, you know, it's just, there's only so many hours in the day, and, you know, there's certain things we definitely have to get done, but, you know, this type of thing really just adds an unnecessary burden, I feel, you know, for somebody from Illinois asking for this type of information. But anyhow, we'll proceed accordingly. We did receive a letter from Kellyanne Bellerby about putting painted crosswalks on Mill Street and Ratcliffe Street. If you remember, and new requirements that whenever you paint a crosswalk, it has to go from one handicap curb to another handicap curb. And when PennDOT paved Mill Street, they were supposed to come back and put in handicap curbs. So I've asked the engineer to reach out to PennDOT and see what their position is about crosswalks being painted in that area. You know, what's going to be required? Will they put in these handicap curbs? I spoke with the chief. He says he's not aware of curbs being, crosswalks being down there since he's been here. But anyhow, I did say I would put her letter in your packet, so we're checking it out further. And I guess that's it.
So basically, we don't have to suspend the rules. Lorraine could just, she wanted to make that an agenda item, I think. So that could be an agenda item. You know what I mean? Because we're still in a work session right now.
They don't want...
Alan just asked it to be an agenda item.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to make it...
No, all you're asking for right now is to put that on the agenda to
Okay.
be voted on.
I'd like to put on the agenda to authorize the purchase of 1029 Elm Street by the borough manager for $75,000.
Anything else in the work session? So I'm going to suspend, end this meeting and start another meeting?
Please.
All right? All right, so Matt, don't go anywhere, we're not taking a break.
Adjourn.
So I got a motion from Lorraine to adjourn, second by Greg Pezza, meeting adjourned. Now we're opening up a meeting for the regular council meeting for agenda items only. So, public participation, does anybody have anything?
Salute the flag.
Merle?
In regards to the PennDOT project, I spoke with Chris Fonda this morning, and on Wednesday of this week, they're going to start putting the base coat down on the right lanes, the ones right now that's closed. They just got finished stoning them, and what they're going to do is they're going to start at Bath, and they're going to work their way up to Beaver, and then they're going to come back down on the other side. They're going to go straight down, but where you have entrances to the borough, like at Pine Point, 2nd Avenue, 4th Avenue, 5th Avenue, in those areas, they have these cutouts that meet our existing roads. So when they do the straight run down, they're not going to do that connection. They're going to come back and address those with a different type of machine. So we will be switching traffic patterns once they get both of the lanes paved in each direction, and then they'll start working on the new. We will let emergency services know when they're going to be closing these entrances to the different areas so that they can get in if they need to without being restricted by the work. The other thing is the Papal visit. We're having additional meetings with the county regarding that, which is September the 26th and 27th. But the impact that we're going to have on the lower end of the county, in addition to what Philadelphia is going through, is going to be probably from September the 24th to the 28th. So we're looking at a big influx of people in our area, a lot of traffic. There could be gridlock.
I don't know how Route 13 with Croydon.
Well, we don't know either, but I think the county commissioner and Scott Forrester, the emergency services director for the county, pretty much summed it up when they said in conclusion with the letter that they sent out that this is more likely going to be the biggest and largest planned event that we'll ever see in this region during our lifetime. As we get information and we feel that there are things that the public needs to know, we'll try to get them out there through our local media, TV, or our...
Well, I know SEPTA tonight at midnight, the lottery ends, and then you'll know how many tickets are sold at each station.
Right. We won't have any at Bristol, though. Nothing.
No, it's going to be Levittown, Croydon, and Cornwallis.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Merle.
Okay. Anybody have anything before we get into... Okay. Any motions on the floor?
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the council minutes for 7/13/15, accept the treasurer's report for July 2015, accept the public works report for July 2015, accept the harbor report and decisions for 7/27/15.
Second by Ms. Collin. Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the purchase of 1029 Elm Street by the Borough Manager for $75,000.
I have a second. Second by Mr. Pezza. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Anything else?
Motion
Motion to adjourn.
And Mr.
Sorry,
Oh,
go ahead.
That's
sorry.
Dave.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Dave.
Dave, you have something?
We're going to talk about the house, right?
We did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
You just voted for it.